What's up, everybody? John Arapoli here with my MMA News, and today's guest is starring in the new film Never Back Down, Revolt, and I'm sure everyone is very familiar with today's guest, as he is a UFC Hall of Famer, former UFC middleweight champion, and now a UFC analyst on ESPN. I'm pleased to be joined by Michael Bisping. Mike, thanks so much for being here and taking the time out of your schedule to be here and discuss this new film that you're in.
My pleasure, John. Thank you very much.
Hey, it's my pleasure to have you on here. Now let's get into this movie a little bit. The Never Back Down film franchise in general is just all about mixed martial arts. You're not actually the first UFC fighter to be in one of these. There's been a number throughout the first three films. Just how grateful are you to have gotten this role and to be a part of this Never Back Down franchise?
Yeah, no, absolutely thankful. I've been a big fan of the Never Back Down franchise, since the early days, and Michael Jai White's appearances. Of course, Josh Barnett was in there as well. And, I've been chipping away with my acting career now since 2009. I never thought when I was a kid I would be saying that sentence, but, I stumbled upon a movie role in 2009 and ever since then fell in love with it. So, I've got a great team behind me. I've got an excellent agent and a nice manager. And right before Christmas, well, in fact, this time last year, I just got a phone call out of the blue. They were making a new Never Back Down movie in London, and they needed someone that can come across as a natural asshole. So I got the call. And of course, being, as I say, a fan of the franchise, I jumped at the opportunity. Of course, always nice to go back home and shoot a movie there as well. So, jumped on the plane, went out there, filmed it through the height of the pandemic, which obviously brought some challenges. But between everyone's efforts, the directors, the producers, the cast and the crew, I think we did a pretty sensational job given all the restrictions that were in place, of course.
I know you mentioned there that your character has to be a bit of a natural asshole, which is kind of how you got this role. But go ahead and tell everybody a little bit more about your character. Don't give too much away, of course, because we want everyone to watch the movie. But go ahead and just talk about your character a little bit in this film.
Yeah, so basically Yannick, that's my character's name. He's just a miserable bastard, pardon my language. He's just not a nice guy, and it's fair to say that he does not like women, and he has no problem putting his hands on them. We'll leave that there. So I don't want to ruin the plot of the movie for anybody, but my guy, I feel like he was raised by an abusive mother that maybe abandoned him at an early age because he's looking to take out his temper and his rage and his inner demons on anyone that he can get hold of, but generally they are women, and he's quite upfront about the fact that he doesn't like women as well. So and that was kind of challenging. Certainly, some of the fight scenes where, I was taking on some of these women. Of course, we want to make it look real, but obviously safety first. But the women were great sports. They came in with such a great attitude. And, when you're doing these scenes, to make it look as real as what it is, sometimes it gets a little rough. Of course, I'm not talking about actually connecting with shots or anything like that. But, when you're throwing them around a little bit, they've got to be a good sport. And they came with such a fantastic attitude every single day and made my job easier than what it could have been.
Yeah, I actually wanted to joke with you about your role a little bit here. When you were preparing for it, did you bring your wife down to the gym, have her throw some headgear on and get a few sparring sessions in with her while you were preparing for this?
Hey, I'd be lying if I didn't say that me and my wife got to some form of combat on a regular basis. I'm kidding, verbal, of course. No. Listen, as I said, I found this role a lot of fun to play for me, because obviously I'm a much more outspoken person in real life. Yannick, my character, is a man of few words. He's very stoic. He's very mean. And as I say, he doesn't really give a shit about anybody but himself. He's a complete sociopath. So yeah, definitely a fun but a challenging role in some ways to play. But very grateful for the opportunity. Kelly Madison, the director, did an amazing job, as did the whole cast and crew.
And now as you're doing all of this too, right, you're mentioning, right, filming in the height of the pandemic. At the same time, you're also doing your analyst work for the UFC, right? You have a podcast, a successful YouTube channel. How difficult is it to balance all of that? And I imagine sleep probably you don't get too much of it, right? I'm sure there's not a lot of sleep in Michael Bisping's life.
Yeah, no, it is, these days, very, very difficult indeed. When I was a fighter or any athlete out there, you're always worried about your post-athletic career. Fortunately for me, things could not have gone any better. And in fact, now it's getting to the point where, I really got to start saying no and prioritizing which projects that I'm passionate about. Not enough hours in the day at the moment, but the acting side of things is something that clearly ticks that box for the passion. I've got a couple of more roles coming up next year. Got Den of Thieves 2. We've got a movie called Fox Hunt, which we'll be shooting in Thailand. Got a brilliant script that we're just waiting to start filming soon called The Journeyman, about a boxer who falls on hard times and suffer from CTE. So that side of things is going really well. I'm very, very proud to say, I still work hard on my craft, still going to acting classes and things like that, and doing everything I can to be the best version of myself. Because, this type of stuff is just like anything. If you want to succeed in a fight in the ring, you got to train, you got to do the work in, you put the work in, you got to do your jiu-jitsu, you got to prep, and anything in life, you got to prep. And listen, I never thought I would have been having conversations with people like yourself about my acting career, but I'm very grateful to be doing so.
And I know you're mentioning there, right, all the different roles that you have in movies coming up. How difficult is that too, right? Just get yourself mentally prepared for that too, because every time you go out there and you're performing, you're doing a different role, of course, your character's never anything like you are in real life. Just how hard is it mentally to kind of get yourself prepared and get yourself into one of those roles to play a character like that?
Yeah, well, you've just got to try and imagine a backstory for this guy, and you speak to the director and we try and formulate, as I say, a backstory and what he might have been through to end up where he is, and then you try and pull from your own experiences. Not that I have any experiences of being a woman abusing, mental patient. No, I don't know. But, we've all got some kind of struggles that we can pull from and things like that. Every role that you do, you've got to try and put yourself there and then pull from personal, emotional experiences throughout your life. And that's pretty much the key to it.
And I had mentioned your YouTube channel before, which has been taking off. I was just wondering kind of what the long-term goal is with that. Like, you plan on going back into podcasting, or is it all just YouTube related now? What's kind of the long-term goal with that?
Yeah, so the Believe in Me podcast is still very much going strong. We came off air for a couple of weeks. We had some reshuffling in the background, shall we say. Got a new I'm going to rotate co-host. But with the YouTube thing, to be honest, that kind of happened by accident. I have a sponsored thing in place with a company, and I just thought I should maybe try and build my YouTube following. So I put a video on there, and then I put another one on, and it just started skyrocketing from there. And I had hardly any subscribers, but then some of the videos were getting like 300,000 views or whatever. And then I was like, all right, well, let's keep this going. And then it kind of just took on a life of its own. And now, there's a very, very passionate following on there. So I hired a producer. He works with me full time now. And that makes my life a lot easier, because prior to him being on board, I was doing it all myself, and I just don't have the time. So he works for me full time now. He comes and records what we need. He edits it all. He handles all of that stuff, and he's doing an incredible job. And what is the plan long term? I'm not really sure what the long term plan is, but right now I'm enjoying putting out, some of my own content regarding mixed martial arts and my own thoughts, and the breakdowns seem to get a great amount of feedback on it as well. People are really enjoying the work that we do. We do have some plans in terms of branching out. We're going to hire a studio. We're going to bring on some other shows. We've got a couple of little mini shows that I'm going to be planning in the background as well. Can't say anything yet, but I never thought I'd be doing a YouTube channel a year ago, let alone one as successful as this one is becoming. But it's crazy. I had no idea there's this whole YouTube world out there, and there's some money to be made. So why leave it on the table?
Well, I'm glad that the Believe in Me podcast is still going. It's got me through a lot of boring moments at my other job, too, listening to it. I'm a very big fan of all the content that you put out. And actually, one of my favorite moments from your podcast actually came, it was like 2 or 3 years ago. It was with Caitlin Chukagian. You were claiming that she snubbed you with a $177 bar tab. So I actually, believe it or not, got to ask her this question too. It was at a UFC event in Philadelphia, and she said that you guys were going to have to work that one out, and that you guys were going to have to get together and figure that out. Did you guys ever get that squared away? Are you guys cool now? Is everything settled with the bar tab?
Yeah, of course we are. It was just a joke anyway. Do you know what I mean? She has her version, I have my version. They left, and I got stuck with the bill, but they said that I offered to pay. I probably did. Let's be honest. I'm very generous like that. So, but it just, maybe I had one or two and it slipped my mind. Oh God. And it was only, in good natured jesting, you know what I'm saying? I don't really care about paying a bar tab anyway. So, but no, Caitlin's great. It was just, maybe it was taken out of context. I was only having a laugh and busting balls.
All right, Mike, I appreciate all the time here today. I'm going to let you get running. I know you have other media obligations today. I know you have interviews lined up back to back to back. So thanks again here for the time. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate everyone that's watching this. And to everyone that is watching this, if you like today's interview, make sure you go down to the bottom and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. And make sure you're going to MyMMANews.com to check out all of our great work that comes out there. And make sure you go to our social media pages, give us a like and a follow on there as well. And if you want to find me on Instagram or Twitter, I am at John Arapoli. We'll see you later, everybody.